Welcome. Today we're going to dive into the core principles and guidelines for residents of Auroville, that very unique international community in India. So let's take a look at what it really takes to live there. And let's start right at the source with a quote from the mother, the founder of Auroville. This one sentence, it really just sets the entire stage, doesn't it? It defines the central aspiration for everyone who chooses to make a life there. Okay, so let's go back to 1971. Auroville had only been around for about 3 years at this point. The mother issues this notice, and it's a big deal. It basically outlines the essential conditions for living in the community. You could almost think of it as the practical blueprint for everything. One of the very first rules established was this mandatory 1-year trial period. And it makes a lot of sense, right? The idea was to give newcomers the time to really integrate and see for themselves if this way of life truly aligned with what they were searching for. The notice also got into some very specific, very practical guidelines for just daily life. And when you look at them, the theme is crystal clear. It is all about collective effort and shared living. We're talking about everyone working for the community, eating together in group kitchens, and a really strict prohibition on drugs. Now, you might be thinking, okay, those are some specific rules, but here's the thing. They aren't random at all. Every single one is built on a very particular spiritual philosophy. This is where we get to the why behind the what of life in Aurovillian. At its very core, Auroville is rooted in the integral yoga of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother. And this is a key point. The goal isn't to escape the world or retreat from it. No, it's actually the opposite. It's about transforming life, right here and now, and using daily activities like work and service as the actual path to spiritual growth. And to make sure everyone is on the same page with this vision, residents are expected to read and really commit to these 3 foundational texts. You can almost think of them as the operating system for what it means to be an Aurovillian. So how does this core philosophy actually show up in the day-to-day? Let's look at the principles that guide everyday life. A huge expectation is that everyone participates in physically building the city. And this isn't just some random construction. It follows the Galaxy Master Plan, a vision from the mother that lays out the city in the shape of a spiral galaxy. The economy, too, is designed to shift the focus away from personal gain. Instead, it's built on the idea of generosity and contribution to the collective. And a key piece of this is the principle of non-ownership of immovable property within Auroville. The principles for social conduct are just as specific. They're clearly designed to foster unity. So things like discrimination, absolutely not acceptable. Party politics, that's out. Propagating religious beliefs, nope. And all of this, of course, operates while respecting Indian law. This specific directive from the mother directly links personal discipline to the community's spiritual goal. The ideal is to maintain a clarity of consciousness, to keep it unclouded by these substances. So when you put all of this together, one thing becomes incredibly clear. Living in Auroville is not a passive experience. Not at all. It demands an active, ongoing commitment from everyone to a shared set of ideals. Ultimately, every guideline and principle we've looked at serves this single shared goal. To be an Aurovillian is to dedicate oneself to the constant work of transforming consciousness, not just for oneself, but for the collective as a whole.